It's the Bison Football Show. Valley News Live and Gate City Bank present the Bison Football Show with head coach Chris Kleiman.
I respect NDSU's program. And here's where I think they have a hand up on us. When they walk onto the field, they believe they're going to win. And when we walk onto the field, I don't know if all 77 guys that put a jersey on today were confident and believed we could win.
That's South Dakota State head coach John Stiegelmeier. The Bison beat South Dakota State for the 8th consecutive time. 2 of those are playoff wins, but we welcome to the set head coach Chris Kleiman. And Coach, that's hard to do, to beat someone 8 consecutive times, especially when you see him as much as you do with the Jacks.
Yeah, it really is. But credit our guys, credit our coaches for coming up with great game plans, and credit all the fans that drove down to Brookings because it's fun and when you're in their environment to hear nothing but Bison Nation and Bison fans as that game kind of wore on. So credit our fans as well.
It seemed at the start your guys were just razor sharp as far as focus goes. The bye week maybe helped a little bit.
Yeah, the bye week really helped us. We were able to get a few more days in on South Dakota State. We were able to get some guys healthy, but our guys had great focus to start that game, and it showed. We got off to a great start. Yeah,
let's roll the highlights in this one. We're going to break down the first half for you. It was a big crowd, their biggest ever at Coughlin Alumni Stadium. And, Coach, I thought early on in the game, the front four really set the tone.
Yeah, we needed to control the line of scrimmage, and you see MJ making a great run through and everybody pushing the pile. And look at all the white jerseys to the ball.
And again, on the first drive this year, you've had great success. You're going to get points on the first drive again in this game. This is a 3rd and 3.
Yeah, great job scripting it out by Coach Polisek and the offensive staff, and great job by Zach making a sure-handed catch.
Hey, Nate Moody had an impact in this game.
He sure did. Nate had a terrific game. He's getting better and better. He's feeling a little bit better, and he made some critical plays for us.
King Frazier finishes this off with a touchdown. It's important to get points early in the game.
It sure is, and I think the Rams do a great job of getting a little crease for him, and King takes it in and scores.
You know, I think the little things early in this game were big as well. As we see the score at 7-0. But Ben LeCompte on the kickoff, it's a directional kick. He forces an error for South Dakota State.
Yeah, great kick by Ben. He's been working at it quite a bit, and yeah, that's a great thing for us to get him inside the 5.
And so they're backed up right now, and now a really good defensive call by Matt Entz.
Yeah, bring the safety blitz. Robbie Grimsley gets a good hit on the quarterback and force him to throw it early.
And we said it early. We're going to say it again. You'll hear it more, but the front four just dominate.
Yeah, great job here by Nate Tangway, just pushing the guard back and knocking the ball away. Great pressure all day long by those guys.
You know, the combo at running back with Dunn and Frazier and even Morlock when he was in there for a little bit, he's banged up with that ankle, but these guys were good. Bruce Anderson as well. This is Lance Dunn.
You bet. We're getting good chunks of yards, and we're keeping moving the chains, and we're doing a great job at the running back and tight end position.
And again, Carson was just dissecting him, just in control.
Boy, he sure was. He was pinpoint and throwing the ball extremely well. Routes were really crisp and running well, as we showed there with Zach with another big catch.
Second quarter now, what a beautiful throw and catch here.
What a great job by Nate off the press coverage. Great concentration. Even President Brashani really liked that one.
Yeah, I see him pumping his fist over there. Now, Chase Morlock, he wasn't healthy, but he gutted it out. He gets a touchdown here, but he's still banged up pretty good.
He is, but he did gut it out. Great job by the guys up front pushing the pile, and Chase gets a big touchdown for us.
Okay, they're big play guys. That Jake Winicky, he only had 3 catches. I thought the big thing is there were no big plays, no yards after catch.
Yeah, absolutely. Kept the ball in front of us, and we were physical with the receivers. I thought the defensive backs did a great job.
You know, and I thought up front, both offense and defense, just an attitude on the line of scrimmage. That's what you have to have.
Yeah, you really do. We're just continuing to push that pile back, and then we get them into 3rd down, and we're doing a great job either playing coverage or pressuring and forcing the early throws.
Yeah, their quarterback started to rush his throws. He heard footsteps on that one, no question. And here is the play of the game, I think, Andrew Bonnet. I mean, we know his athleticism. We haven't seen it for a little while. The bench just blew up when he did this. Wow.
Absolutely. Nobody wants to take Bonnet on high, and he knows they're going low, and he does his patented leap over.
You know, and there's some athleticism there. Very underrated athleticism, no doubt. This SDSU offense, again, a few yards, but no big plays.
Exactly. He wanted to go downfield. We took it away and had to dump it off.
MJ Stumpf, and he's in on this play, and Aaron Steidle, both those guys are playing really well.
They really are. Great run through by MJ. He was really aggressive yesterday.
Right before the half, you put a drive together, and just really good efficiency on 3rd down. This is a 3rd and 8.
Yeah, we were great on third down, and this was important for us. We thought we dominated the first half. We needed to get another score.
Started to really churn out some yards in the run game, 6 yards from Lance, and now this moves you into a 3rd and 3 again, and Carson Wentz in control calls a good play.
Yeah, 3rd and 3, and this is a good down and distance for us, and Carson does a great job getting 4 or 5.
How about Bruce Anderson on the edge? He's got great speed, and on this play in particular, he gets that edge quick.
He sure does. It gives us another dimension, does a great job getting down the sideline for a big run.
Another tough kid is Lucas Albers. He's banged up as well, but he was out there and he made a couple big plays at the end of this drive.
Yeah, this is a great catch, good concentration, getting it inside the 5.
All right, Tim Polasek, what do you got dialed up here? Down inside the 5, perfect call.
Yeah, great call. 3 years in a row we've gotten this play, and great sell by Lucas, and good job by Carson.
Yeah, 21-0 at that point. Very important to really tack on another one to show the domination of the first half as we check out the Nodak Mutual Insurance first half scoreboard. 21-0. The Bison had already run 40 plays for 221 yards. A dominant defensive half for the Bison. Carson Wentz 14 of 19. Lujan really struggling. Up on the hot seat today, the Gate City Bank hot seat is Joe Haig. All right, Joe, what's your favorite pro team in any sport?
The Minnesota Wild.
Oh, there you go. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Who would you describe as your hero?
Don't tell him I said this, but probably Billy Turner. He's always been a good guy.
He'll probably be watching this. He'll hear it, yeah.
Oh, gosh, good.
Favorite sport other than football?
Hockey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Name something you are bad at.
Basketball.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice and tall, too.
I know, I can't shoot, I swear. It's horrible.
What drives you crazy about your roommates?
Just being unclean, you know.
In traffic, are you patient or do you get frustrated easily?
I'm usually pretty patient. Sometimes get a little frustrated, but as long as as long as people drive smart, right? You know.
Yeah, there you go. Why do you like Fargo and North Dakota?
The people are great around here. They really embrace, North Dakota State and not just football, all the sports together, and it's just been, everyone's just really great around here.
What do you like most about this Bison coaching staff as a whole?
They're very approachable. You can talk to them about anything. They're kind of like those. They're a mix between like an older brother and a dad. You can talk to them, about anything, and it's just been, great to get to know these guys.
What's the one thing people don't know about you?
I can solve a Rubik's Cube in under 2 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I might hold you up to that sometime.
Go ahead.
On a trip.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, thanks, Joe.
Yep.
Welcome back. Well, Coach, you had a lot of momentum going into half. How did you plan on keeping that momentum?
Well, we talked about it similar to before the start of the game. Attack the process each play. Just win the next play. But we had to start fast in the second half, and we had 30 more minutes of football.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And South Dakota State has a good offense. They can get on a run. Let's break down this second half, and we start in the third quarter. And Carson Wentz really ran the ball well. He ended up with 54 yards rushing on the night.
He did, and there were critical runs. Some first and 10 runs or some third and short runs.
I thought overall, Coach, the special teams were pretty good in this game, didn't you?
Yeah, they really were. I thought we were really sound. I thought Ben punted the ball extremely well and placed it on kickoffs. And this is just a phenomenal play by Nick DeLuca, keeping that thing from going into the end zone.
That's a great athletic play by a middle linebacker. Not many middle linebackers can make that kind of play on special teams. And they never do get past the 1 year.
No, they don't. Great job up front by the front four again, continuing to push that pocket back.
So you forced them to punt. They punt, and on the first play, a big play by Carson.
Yeah, great call by Coach Polasek, and great cutback right here by Carson, and he takes it to the house.
His running ability is really tough. It would be hard to prepare for this offense.
Yeah, extremely hard, and he's gets so much better speed than people would think.
Yeah, 28-0 at this point. Their biggest play is right here. It's a 36-yarder.
Yeah, give them credit. They jumped the formation and got us confused a little bit. Great play by Trey, keeping him out of the end zone.
Although the defense really took that to heart, and they come up with a beautiful goal line stand here.
Yeah, this was really important for our defense. Did a great job here on 1st and 10. They try to throw it. Coverage is dynamite, and then we get the coverage sack.
And even guys like Matt Plank, he comes in. It's still a situation where they're inside the 2, inside the 1. Big hit here.
Yeah, 4th and goal, and Plank and DeLuca stuffed this play as well as those defensive tackles getting that push. But great job by Plank and DeLuca there.
So it's 28-0. You just kept them out of the end zone. Goal line stand. Things are rolling. But, boy, a turnover can sure turn things around real quick.
Absolutely. We talk about momentum shifts and things, and we can't have this because they take it right away then and drive it down the score. And rather than going 35-0, it's 28-7.
Yeah, they're going to get a 26-yard touchdown here. And I thought throughout the course of the night they have some pretty good tight ends.
Yeah, they really do have some tight ends. And I think they figured that CJ was taking away the good wide receiver, so they started utilizing the tight ends. The kid makes a great catch.
So it's a 28-7. Then the Bison give it up on offense, but back on defense now, and they have a little bit of momentum here. But I think this play shows how physical the D is as we move to the fourth. The quarterback's going to get hit. Everyone gets hit. Everyone's in an ice bath at the end of this thing. Even though they completed it, you show physical play.
Absolutely, and it was, I think, a 3rd and long, and we forced them into a punt, and great job by the defense.
But here's another fumble, so the second fumble of the half here.
Yeah, we can't do this. We've got to be able to clean this up. This will hurt us as we move into Valley play, and we'll address it, and we'll get it cleaned up this week.
I'll tell you what, though, on the defensive side, the DNs played well. Greg Menard really played well late in the game.
Yeah, what a great pass rush move on the tackle and gets a big sack.
He's fast, too, off the edge.
He really is. Does a good job on an inside move and making a big sack.
You know, coming up, a penalty-riddled sequence for SDSU. They actually scored a touchdown. It got called back. They're forced into a 4th and 13 here.
4th and 13, keep the ball in front of you and make sure they don't get to the sticks, and everybody's rallying to the football.
And that was really the final blow for SDSU. You start to work the clock now, and you get 7 yards here. You're just kind of playing the game out at this point.
Absolutely. We're just continuing to move the chains and getting our adjustments on defense and really kind of salting the game away.
Robbie Grimsley, we'll see a play from here at the end. I thought he played well. He's still really starting to come along.
He did a really good job. Great job knocking the ball away from the tight end.
Well, the final score, just a dominant performance again by NDSU. You see the fans and the players all excited, grabbing that rock. It's important to them, isn't it?
Boy, it sure is. And that senior class did not want to leave that rock in Brookings. And hats off to those seniors.
There you see the score, 28-7. The rushing yards, -4. 2 years ago, the Bison held SDSU to -32 in Brookings. This year, it's -4, so the dominance continues. Great 3rd down numbers for the Bison on offense and defense. Let's hear what the players had to say after the game.
We play them so much, so we know what they do, they know what we do. So we just wanted to come out, execute, and be more physical than they were, knock them back, and move the line of scrimmage backwards. So that was pretty much our game plan.
I think it was our whole defense in general. We took it as a challenge upon our whole defense, and I think we did a good job. So
I think we came out, we were ready to play, especially against the run, pretty much shut them down completely. I think they had -4 yards, something like that. So I think that was probably our best run performance of the year.
It was a real big matchup for us. You know, it was exciting coming out here, but, we took care of the game, and Coach put together a great game plan for us, and we executed, so it was awesome. And I'm going to go in there and celebrate the team after this. So
I definitely think it means extra. It means a ton. Just the tradition that it has. It means a lot to us seniors. I know it means a lot to Carson and all the other seniors.
Great comments by the players. This week's Nodak Mutual Insurance Player of the Game is quarterback Carson Wentz. Once again, he controlled the game, tremendous leadership in the huddle. He keeps the defense guessing by getting the offense in the right plays, and then he just throws down a checkmate with jaw-dropping ability. We are watching something special with Carson Wentz.
When you play him so many times over the last couple of years, you get a lot of film on him. And so I think we had, Coach Polsick was even saying it, arguably the best game plan we've had in a long time. And, I think there's things we exploited and did a heck of a job. Obviously, we still left some things on the field, but I think we had a great game plan and we executed it pretty well.
We'll talk a little bit more about Carson in a little bit. He was phenomenal, but let's talk about the game plan against this Jake Winicky. He had really not been stopped in 3 games. They were 3-0 coming in. He was putting up big-time numbers. So what was the game plan moving into the game on him?
Yeah, well, it was a great job by Coach Entz and the defensive staff designing it. We were going to put CJ on him the majority of the game when we were playing man coverage. And even when we were playing zone coverage, CJ would go to that side, and we were trying to be physical and reroute him, and Dempsey was over the top of him at times. But we were able to do that in the back end because of what the guys did up front, and we were able to get pressure on the pass with 4, and we were able to shut down the run.
And moving along with the defense as well, in the last 3 games, Coach, the defense has been phenomenal. What happened after the Montana game to really get these guys locked in? 3 straight games. We have examples right now. You look at the numbers from this run. rushing 4 yards, -4 yards. The total yards are down. The third downs are fantastic. What changed on defense after the Montana game?
Well, you look at it. You've got to be able to stop the run, and then you've got to get off the field on third down. And in that open week after Montana, those were the two areas that we really tried to emphasize is the third downs especially. You know, you look at what our offense is doing and staying on the field and getting time of possession. And defensively, we're getting off the field right now. And the guys up front, the defensive line and linebackers are really taking ownership in the fact that people aren't going to run the football against us. So we've had 3 great games, but we've got to have another one now.
Let's talk more about Carson. And there's quarterbacks out there putting up big numbers. There's no question. There's teams that throw it 50, 60 times a game. So there's guys putting up video game type numbers, and we see some of these. And 1, 2, 3 in the nation in total offense right now. Vad Lee from James Madison, Jordan West from Eastern Washington, Dakota Prukop from Montana State. You see their numbers, but I think people who watch this show nationally that are going to vote on that Walter Payton Award, you have to dissect this completely. And Vad Lee, look at him, 10 interceptions. Carson Wentz, the total package. He doesn't have the numbers, but he could have those numbers, don't you think, if he was unleashed like those guys?
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure Carson would like to throw it 50 times a game, but Coach Belichick's not going to let that happen. But no, without a doubt, you look at it, 0 interceptions, and he manages the game. He details all his work, and he gets us in the right play. He moves the chains, all those things. He's the best quarterback in FCS football, and there's arguably the best quarterback in all of football this year.
No, I totally agree, and I think that's why we want to put those numbers up there. Yeah, Vad Lee, 2014, that's fantastic, and he did rush for 250 against an FBS opponent, but he does have the 10 picks, and hopefully they look at the total package because Carson Wentz is something special. We all know it here, but I think the nation needs to learn it as well. Still to come, we're going to talk about off the field. Some of the players have some specialties and some talents that you may not know about. Zach Vraw is one of them. We'll talk about it. Stay with us. Welcome back to the show. Everyone knows the football side of each player very well, but these guys have other passions away from the field. Veteran receiver Zach Vraw has a natural talent in an area you may not have guessed. Alex Egan has the story in this week's Olaf Anderson Construction feature story.
It's a good getaway from football after being around a team all day. This is where I'm kind of more of an introvert, come out here by myself, and there'll be other people painting in here every once in a while. But this is where I kind of get away from the team aspect, just do my own thing, hang out, relax.
When Zach Vraw isn't catching touchdowns and making moves on the football field, he's making brush strokes on canvas. Zach already has his degree in sports management, but his passion is painting.
It's something you don't see very much. I mean, a lot of people can draw, just pick up a pencil and paper, but painting is a lot of supplies. You can mess around with color, size, and you know, it's a lot different. You can really get your hands dirty with working with paint, so that's what I really like about it.
Zach has been painting for a while now and is pursuing a minor in art while finishing out his eligibility with the Bison football team. And his work off the field catches even the closest of friends off guard.
I guess I didn't really realize it until probably this last year when we started living together. I realized when we were moving, I helped him move his big mural painting that was huge, and I was like, what's this? He's like, yeah, I paint, and I was really surprised.
They kind of chuckle about it, call me a nerd sometimes, but you know, they've learned that this is kind of what I do, so they're used to it now.
To see his work was really surprising to see how good it was, but then again, it is Zach, and he's pretty good at just about everything he does.
Football, in a way, is a sense of art. Coaches and players are constantly drawing up plays, and when you finish a workout or a game, the sense of accomplishment is the same when finishing a painting.
Well, a lot about painting, I just learned to relax, let loose. When situations are tough in games, I just learned to, you know, mellow down at times, just kind of relax, do how my gut feels, and that's kind of what I do in here. Sometimes when I'm painting, just let loose, draw what I see in my mind. So things, now that I think of it, do correlate over a little bit.
For the Bison Football Show, I'm Alex Egan.
Wow, Coach, there's some talent there. Did you know he was a talented artist?
I did. He's an extremely talented guy. Zach's been here 6 years. He's got to find some hobbies of some sort. And Zach knows I like to give him a hard time. But isn't everybody glad he's back?
Oh, yeah.
What a difference he's made in our football team, and an extremely talented guy and a bright future for him.
He's fun to have around. He's a great kid, too. In this week's Peterson Farm Seed Future Crop of Bison, another North Dakota product is on the rise. Brock Robbins out of the Powerhouse Cavalier program is the future at fullback. He's having a great redshirt year and is already listed at a solid 230. Right now he is working on technique with assistant coach Tyler Roll.
Right away it was just kind of my technique stuff and just kind of learning all the plays. And in high school we didn't really have, we'd have plays, but just kind of just simple plays. We wouldn't do any technique, and just getting the technique stuff down with Coach Roll, and that's really been the key thing I've been focusing on.
He's a legit big-time prospect, isn't he? A talented kid.
Yeah, you talk about a guy that dominated high school football for a number of years. Tough, physical, and a tremendous athlete. He's got a bright future here. Cavalier
was 44-3 in his 4 years there, so he's a winner as well. Well, still to come, UNI at the Fargo Dome. It's homecoming. It's a huge week. We're going to talk about it. Stay with us. Well, Coach, it doesn't get any easier. After the Dakota Marker game, Northern Iowa comes rolling in. They've taken a couple lumps. They've had a really tough schedule. Those we look at our Verizon look ahead. Verizon has been serving North Dakota for over 15 years, but UNI is going to be a desperate team. They're going to come in here with both barrels flaring, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely. They lost against Illinois State in a really hard-fought game. They've got tremendous skill. They've got as good athletes as anybody in the league. Really good schemes offensively and defensively. It's going to be a four-quarter battle, and we need Bison Nation. We need the Fargo Dome. It'll be packed. We need it as loud as we can get it, because they're a no-huddle offense that makes all their calls at the line of scrimmage, and that'll be critical for us to be loud as we can.
They're playing a couple quarterbacks, too. They got a transfer from Indiana. Aaron Bailey, I think's his name.
Yeah, he's from Illinois. Really good athlete. And then Sawyer Cole-Morgan, that's been around for a long time, that is a really good player. So we'll have to have really kind of two game plans defensively.
Well, best of luck, Coach. Congratulations on the Dakota Marker win. What an impressive effort by your guys. And this is going to be a fun week. And please be there in full throat for this UNI game. This is a big ball game for the Bison. We'll see you then. Have a great week, and we'll recap it next week.